is up, everyone? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is Monday, January 13th, and I'm so glad that Santi and I are back to do the Raw post show. Last week we weren't here because I was at the show, and it just got to, it would have been, poor Santi, you wouldn't have slept at all had you had to wait for me. So I'm so glad to be back here this week. Good to see you, Santi. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing great. Frankly, I also didn't sleep even without our post show because I was making content till like 4 a.m. after that Raw Netflix. There was just so much to do, so much to talk about. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and immediately start the show by saying this. All right. You ready for this? All right. A little bit controversial, but I have a feeling that some people are going to agree. Episode 2 of Raw Netflix shits on episode 1. It was so much better. This episode was so much better than the debut episode of Raw Netflix. It didn't need all the flash. It didn't need the WrestleMania main event. This episode was just a through and through better episode of Monday Night Raw.
Look, Santi, I'm going to be real with you. I saw a couple of people echoing that same statement, so I don't think you're alone in this. Now, I'm going to be real with you, though. Being at the show, getting to feel that like the vibes and everything, even though there were some things that kind of felt like, oh my God, like this is too much, it wouldn't have happened. I had such a good time at the show that even though this show is probably just a better episodic show, I thought that last week's show as a standalone event was very fun to just like be there and see what was going to happen. But here's the thing though, Santi, that at today's show was like 2 hours and 31 or something minutes like that. So it flowed very, very nicely. When the time came for the main event, I thought, oh shit, we're already at the main event. This is kind of nuts. So how did you feel about having like seen the show at a, with a smaller amount of time, 2 hours and a half?
So it's interesting. I have a different experience than perhaps what you have. I guess, quick question before I go on here. Are you watching it traditionally on your Netflix, getting commercials?
I'm watching on Netflix. I get the commercials, but to be honest, I don't pay attention to them because when I do the watch along, I do like games and stuff, so it
Sure.
distracts from the commercial, so it makes it easier.
So there are promos during commercials breaks for you. I get all of those promos. I had a New Day promo. I had
I didn't get that.
exactly. International audiences get stuff happening during commercial breaks. It's kind of shitty because my experience is better than yours. There was a great New Day promo. They finally got to speak. They had a full 5-minute conversation where they didn't get
What?
booed. Yes, they had a full backstage segment. So we're actually getting like an asynchronous experience where mine is just better than yours because of that. So you were mentioning, that it wasn't a 3-hour show. For me, it was because I got 3 hours worth of content. Because even in commercial breaks, I was getting content.
Oh shit. No, I was getting ads, a nice little 3-minute countdown of like we're on a commercial break and I'm like vibing. And I didn't realize that
Yeah.
you guys were getting all of this.
Yeah, so right before Penta's entrance, when we were on commercial break and Chad Gable had made his entrance, he cut a promo. He cut a promo in
So he
the
had two
ring.
promos?
Yes. Yeah, he cut a promo during commercial break for you guys.
No, okay, so he had the promo after his match. I did see that promo,
No,
but
this
you're
was
saying
before the match.
before the match. So he had
Before the
2
match.
promos.
He cut a promo. He cut a promo before the match. A great promo.
Oh shit. Okay, you know what I'm gonna have to do moving forward? I'm gonna have to change my location. I'm gonna have to use a VPN or something because I cannot be missing out on all of this stuff here. I feel
Denise,
like I
I
got
need you
nothing to add because I'm like, I didn't see any of that.
you got to get the corporate wheels turning. We need a VPN sponsor for this.
I
It would
know. What
kill.
the
Right now
hell?
this would have been a great VPN segment.
I know. Instead, it was like, oh, I need a VPN. Sorry, guys, I don't got anything to offer you guys.
That would have been a masterful transition if we're like,
Yes.
good thing I have NordVPN.
Hey, if Nord wants to sponsor me, they know where to call. All right. They know how to contact me. But hey, I kind of feel bad now that I missed out on these promos, though. So since you did see these promos, how was Penta's first promo that he cut? And how was the New Day promo that was cut?
Gable cut a promo.
Okay, Gable.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Gable that cut a promo before the match. Penta cut the
Oh,
promo
okay.
after the match. Yeah,
Okay.
no, it was a fun little heel promo, just getting some heat on him, roasting San Jose, talking trash about them, calling them useless, saying he's American made, classic stuff that makes it a better viewing experience. And it does kind of suck that you miss out on that stuff as a traditional American viewer getting ads. And here's the thing, I've yet to figure out what the standard for Americans is. I have American viewers that tell me they get ads if they have the standard Netflix. I have American viewers that tell me they don't get ads. I don't know how. There's some that pay for the premium version of Netflix to not get ads, and they get ads. I don't know what's going on. It just depends. I don't know if like on the state that you're in, it is just all over the place in terms of what experience is being delivered to what people.
I don't know what package I have for Netflix. It's just been the same one that I've had for years, and I get ads, but I don't know what package I have. But it's one of those things where I don't understand the rules anymore. Like, I have Hulu, and I thought I was paying for the fancy version, but I still get ads there too. I think at this point we just have to like pay and get ads at the exact same time. So I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not getting the crappy version and that I get the good version, Santi, because I'm feeling left out right now.
Ah, no, I totally get it. I get it.
All right. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the show. I want to kick things off with Penta's debut. I feel like that's where we have to start because this was a very, this wasn't one of those things where you can say, oh, it was a spoiler because everybody knew. I mean, even Triple H joked about it in the press conference, basically saying that everyone knew who was going to be the person that faced Chad Gable. They dropped merch for Penta before he even made his debut. And so everybody was anticipating it. We get this match, we get the promo, but I want to start there. What was for you, Santi? Were you excited for Penta to come through? And how did you feel about his first match with Chad Gable?
Very much so. I was incredibly excited for Penta. When I started watching AEW, Penta was one of those initial names that I fell in love with. I'm like, this is the alternative I'm looking for. Something that I can't get in WWE is being offered here in AEW in Penta's wrestling and Ray Phoenix and the Lucha Brothers. So I was very excited. My expectations were through the roof. I was going around telling people, like, if you don't know, you're about to learn about Cero Miedo. Like, trust me, this guy is unique in so many ways. And I feel like he delivered. It still felt like a nerfed version of Penta because if you've seen Penta matches, if you've seen AEW or Lucha Underground Penta, you knew beforehand there was no way that they were going to let him operate at that full 100% version that and do the crazy things that he's known for doing. But even in this match, I really felt like it was an awesome showcase of what Penta is all about. And Chad Gable was such a great dancing partner for him as well to showcase pretty much a good portion of his arsenal as well. And what I was really pleased about, and it put a smile on my face, is like how many people there knew who Penta was. He got a great pop. People knew the Cero Miedo thing, which was great. And you can't really say that about a lot of people debuting for the first time on main roster TV. But here's the thing. This is a little bit of uncharted territory. We haven't seen this happen too much. We saw it with, and I'm talking about people going from one North American promotion to the other. We saw it with Jade Cargill being immediately inserted into the main roster. And I believe this is the second one, Penta, right? Unless I'm missing somebody else.
Yeah, no, it was really just them two because like when Ethan Page came through, Sean Spears, like all those people, they went to
Yeah,
NXT. And I mean, of course,
exactly.
Cody Rhodes, but we're not really counting Cody Rhodes in this situation right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get you. Yeah.
But it's cool to see that the things that they became known for in AEW are carrying over here with their initial impressions. We saw it with Jade Cargill, and we're seeing it here with Penta, which is so nice.
Yeah, and I love that because there are certain people that you do that with. There are certain people that have to bypass NXT because they're at a certain level. And it's kind of, to me, it's sort of like a respect thing, right? Like if you've done so much, like for example, with Penta, you don't put him on NXT, you put him on the main roster because he is that kind of a performer. And so for me, I kind of felt like this, I felt two sort of different things. First of all, I was sort of expecting this match to be to show more of what Penta can do. I know, like you said, we weren't expecting to see what he did, with Ray Phoenix over on AEW or any of that, but I was expecting a little bit more to let him have that like wow moment. You know what I'm saying? When you got your lucha person on the show, because as we all know, I think that lucha is the easiest thing the easiest style of wrestling for people to be like, wow, especially if you're not really, if you're a new wrestling fan or you're a casual wrestling fan, if you got a luchador out there, that's going to be the person that's you're going to get a reaction watching. I would have loved for them to have a portion in this match where we got to see just a little bit more of that, because we did get a couple of spots here. Don't get me wrong, we did, but again, if you've seen Penta go, you can see you've seen it just a lot more than what we got here tonight. So that was sort of my portion. I think there were a couple of moments where maybe there were some nerves, but then he quickly like bounced back. I did love that at the start of the match, by the way, we got to see him sort of have a wrestling match with Chad Gable, where they were doing this bits where they were going in and out and arm drags and things like that. That to me was very, very fun to see them sort of like go toe to toe with each other. So we got a little bit more so though of a Chad Gable match versus a Penta match, with just a couple of Penta moments sprinkled in there. And then everybody popped for the Canadian Destroyer, which they're in WWE, they're calling it the Mexican Destroyer, which I thought was funny. But those were the moments that I think really got Penta and the people like behind him. But for me, Santi, it was the freaking promo. It was the promo that got me at the end when he looked deadpan in the camera and he just said it was a Mexican who got him here right now. And he was talking about how, his work and all the people supporting him and throughout these years and his whole career. I just thought, man, I kind of got a little emotional thinking of like seeing that, because you could really feel his passion, and I felt it.
In the amount of time that I've seen Penta when he was in AEW, I swear to God, he got more promo time here than he did in so much of his time in AEW. Obviously, I'm exaggerating.
Kind of do most of the talking over on the AEW side.
That I feel like is a cool sign to see WWE give Penta the ball and trust him to cut a promo, even though English isn't his first language. Not in a million years under Vince McMahon would this be happening. Under Vince McMahon, Penta would have a pinata gimmick, something stupid, something ridiculous.
Out in a lawnmower.
Yes.
Like the Mexicals, yeah.
I wished you were kidding. But you are not. It would have been entirely a possibility under Vince McMahon. And even though English is not his proficient language, they gave him enough trust to say, hey, this is your introduction. Go talk to the people. And to me, it did everything that it needed to do. I was halfway expecting him to turn heel at some point during that promo, calling everybody cabrones or something like that. That would have been hilarious. But still, more than anything, I'm walking away just thinking like, wow, like they clearly value this guy. If you hear the commentary too, they were, as the kids say, glazing this man up, talking about what a legend he was and what an honor it was, they were saying, to be in front of Penta, seeing a Penta match live for the first time in WWE. There was just a lot of respect given to Penta, both in terms of the amount of time that he was given for his first match, the opponent, the commentary that he was given, and the fact that he was actually given time to have a promo. I just don't feel like under Vince McMahon that all of those things would have happened.
Dev, no, I don't think so. And even if they did, they probably would have just done some like quirky, somewhat, disrespectful type of thing where they would just hone into it too much. And no, this was cool, man. And I think the reason why WWE did all of this is I think they recognize that somebody like Penta can be marketed so well. I mean, look at all the merch that they were selling within, him not even making his debut yet. And people are already, buying masks, buying the t-shirts. And that's one of the things about the Lucha Brothers in general. And I was talking about this, is that they're probably some of the best when it comes to like constantly getting licensing deals. They're constantly being licensed in so many different places. Like they got all of these action figures. They got so much out there. Like whenever I go to like Lucha Expo, dude, I walk in and they have like their booth is completely filled with all of these different merchandise pieces. They have a store out here in Pasadena, and they have a store and they hold events and they got like a bunch of merch. They got art, paintings, photography, you name it. So like these guys really capitalize on making themselves into a brand. Like the Lucha Brothers are a brand, and of course that leaves us with the questioning of Ray Phoenix. Can you imagine once they get Ray Phoenix in there, who is, you can choose who you like more, Penta or Ray Phoenix. I tend to lean a little bit more towards Ray Phoenix. I think he's incredible. But damn, if and when they're able to get Ray Phoenix, this is gonna really be something special and very smart for WWE, because they're gonna need people like this. You got to have a variety.
I agree. This is going to add a really nice variety for however long it is that we get Penta in the singles division, like in the mid card, whatever it might be, but in the tag team division as well. Like that style of wrestling is entirely missing from the tag team division at the moment. And as we're seeing on, at the very least on SmackDown, we've yet to see it on Raw. The SmackDown tag team division is getting a lot of tender love and care. For the first time in a long time, we're seeing character development. We're seeing Pretty Deadly being like the instigator of every storyline happening on the SmackDown tag team division. We're seeing great matches. We're seeing feuds. We're seeing people like Berto and Garza actually getting talking time. And now I have a lot more faith about the Lucha Brothers being in the tag team division when I see the tag team division getting all of that great TLC, not tables, ladders, and chairs, tender love and care over on SmackDown. I hope they bring it to Raw, because the tag team division is just not anywhere.
I was gonna say, who is the tag team division? The Judgment Day? Well, I mean, you have the Judgment Day, you have the War Raiders, you have the Creed Brothers, which they haven't really been like, they flirted with the idea, but they haven't really done as much as they could there. And maybe a few more teams, and that's kind of about it. I think both, like, I love, like you said, you're right, we're getting more attention on the SmackDown tag team division. I still wish that there was I still haven't been won over by the division just yet. So I personally still think that both the Raw and SmackDown tag team divisions need some more work. They need stars. That's what they need. They need some more stars on the tag team division. So we'll see what we get there. But let me jump into some super chats here. We got Cole, who says, I saw all the promos and live in Texas. No VPN. Okay, good to know. Anthony Giuliano, thank you, Cole. Anthony says, I paid $22.50 for Netflix and get ads. Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Brutal.
What? Like, that's
There's
so
no
messed up.
consistency on this.
This is insane. I'm gonna have to go into my account and see what I'm doing and what I'm paying and what I've got, because I legitimately have no idea. Thank you, Anthony. We got Heidi Ho here, who says, I ordered a Penta mask date. The estimated delivery date is April 28th.
Oh my
Bro,
God. Good Lord.
you're probably better off flying over here to Pasadena, getting yourself a mask from the store, or flying to Mexico and getting a mask like off of the streets or something. And you would probably get that a lot sooner. That's so wild. April 28th. Heidi Ho, I can't wait for you to get your mask. We got Zodia here, who says Penta's bottom rope botch was followed by a great finish. Sword loading, winning with the BT blend. Oh, yeah. And who could help Kofi and Xavier defeat the Deadbeat? Oh, I love it. The Deadbeat. So there was a small little botch of a moment, like I said, maybe some nerves. But guys, I'm telling you, the work that Penta and Phoenix do, both of them respectively, is really, really great. So we're just going to have to go ahead and just, moments like that happen, and hopefully we get to see a little bit more less of the botches, but more of the best stuff that we see Penta do in future matches. So we'll see where we go from that. Thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. We got Saif Din Super here, who says Penta has a legit chance to be a single superstar. Best thing to happen to him is TK's pettiness. Look, the way I see it is there's two sides to every story, guys. We still don't know all the behind the scenes, or what went down, or what was said, what soured the relationship. Who knows? Because they were with AEW for so many years, and they were killing it in AEW for so many years. And I can't complain about that time period for me as a fan, because we got some of the best work that I've ever seen. For me, Santi, I will never forget the Best of 7 series with the Death Triangle and the elites. That was some of the best stuff that I'd ever seen. So, and when I think about Penta, that's probably one of the first things that pops into my head. Saif done super. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, so let's continue on. I want to go ahead and get into another massive moment of the evening, and that was the fact that we crowned the first ever inaugural Intercontinental Champion, Santi. Going into this, we had Dakota, we had Lyra, obviously the final two here in this tournament. Were you like 100% certain they were going to go with Lyra, or was there a piece of you that was like, maybe they're going to go with Dakota?
I went in 100% certain they were going to go with Lyra. And then Dakota came out with new graphics and music. I'm like, it's over. Dakota's winning. They're not going to give her all of this new head to toe presentation if she isn't going to win the damn thing, only for the rug to get pulled from under me and have Lyra win. But yeah, I went in pretty confident before the episode started that Lyra was probably the best choice here. Just kind of looking at the work, the body of work that she has done, she kind of personifies like what the mid card is about. Like great work, being a workhorse, and just having kick-ass matches. I'm sure eventually we'll develop good storylines for the championship, but initially I feel like this is what the title should be. It should just be the workhorse of the division, and Lyra, I just feel fits that mold a little bit better than Dakota Kai.
Yeah, I think for me, I kind of had a similar experience with you where I went into this going 100%, oh, Lyra's going to win, right? But then I was asking the chat, like, oh, who is everybody going for? And there were so many people that were so passionate about Dakota Kai winning. And I thought, she does seem to have the popular vote. So, and WWE has been trying to, I guess you can say, try to please the majority rules, the whoever's the most popular, they tend to go and listen to those people, right? And go with that, right? So I was thinking, hey, maybe there is a chance that Dakota Kai might win given how many people are rooting for her. But then I thought, and this was the big reason why I was going with Lyra. I mean, of course, she's a great wrestler and all of that, but she made it to the finals of the Queen of the Ring and she didn't win. I thought if she makes it to the finals again in this tournament here for the Intercontinental Championship and doesn't win, she's always going to be that person that falls short of grabbing the pie in the sky. And so for me, I thought, nah, you can't do that to Lyra 2 times. Like this one has to be her moment. And it makes me wonder, Santi, and I don't know if this is where your brain's going, but my brain is now going to like, all right, we kind of started something with her and Becky before Becky left. Now, granted, it wasn't a feud or anything like that. It was more so of a friendship thing, a mentorship thing where she was giving her advice and stuff like that. Becky's been gone. When Becky comes back, we don't know what direction she's going to go in. We don't know what she's going to do. None of that. What if there's a world where we do see something between Becky and Lyra, or is it too soon?
I would say it's too soon if it wasn't WrestleMania right there, right? Because WrestleMania is right there, that is huge for the Intercontinental Championship to have somebody like Becky Lynch going after the championship. It's a great way to solidify the importance of that championship. That's why I'm not unconvinced of the fact that Charlotte could be going for that US championship at some point, but that's a different topic for a different day. Becky Lynch going after the Women's Intercontinental Championship would instantly solidify that championship as something that is must see and something worth fighting for. Not only that, but that's huge for Lyra Valkyria. If she were to be able to get that is the way to get on WrestleMania as a Lyra Valkyria, where you're so early on in your career, where you aren't just a shoe-in for every major show. But if you can latch on to a feud with a Becky Lynch, that's a pretty darn good way to get that major exposure on a major PLE at a major show like a WrestleMania. To me, it's win-win all around, because Becky Lynch doesn't need world championship matches. Becky Lynch is a first ballot shoe-in Hall of Famer. She's done it all at this point. Why not go after the Intercontinental Championship? Why not help solidify Lyra Valkyria as a workhorse and as a future mainstay in PLEs, while also elevating and making that Intercontinental Championship feel important? Because both the Intercontinental Championship and the US title on the women's side, they've got an uphill battle. They're brand new championship belts. Brand new championship belts will always struggle to feel prestigious if the right people aren't inserted into good matches and good feuds and good storylines. So they've got some work to do with these championships. The nice thing is that in 2025, WWE has a wealth of riches. Their war chest to help elevate these championships is absolutely freaking insane. The fact that we can just, yeah, Becky Lynch, why not? Who can do that? Only the WWE.
It's kind of insane, but yeah, I agree with you on all those points about really just like making and solidifying the title and Lyra Valkyria. Now, when I look at this, I think of Lyra because I feel like, okay, part of the reason why Dakota was more over than Lyra is because she's been able to show more of her personality. I think that we need to get, because Lyra is a great wrestler. We've seen that. We've seen that in her matches with Io Sky. But the reason she hasn't gotten over to that extent yet is because we haven't seen her personality as much. So, how else are you going to show personality? Telling stories. And I think that she could definitely bring that out if she were to work with Becky. Who knows what we can make of that? So I feel like those would be some of the pros or things that I would want to see. We got Terrence Johnson here who sends in a super chat saying Aleister Black Rumble return is it a long shot? Absolutely not. In fact, I am 100% expecting him to pop up. And maybe I shouldn't say 100%, right? Because it's pro
100.
wrestling.
Now,
All right.
this is what you say.
99.9%.
60% of the time, you're right every time.
Come on, like he's gonna appear. Like, come on, it's not a long shot to me. I'm firmly expecting this to happen. I really, really am. And I don't know what to make of it, of course, because we can get into his AEW career, and it didn't really, it was fine. It didn't really rock any worlds, but we'll see what happens. I am expecting Aleister Black to return to the Malachi Black to return to WWE as Aleister Black, of course. And then I'm assuming he's going to come back at the Rumble. That's where I'm at with that. Terrence Johnson, thank you so much. You actually lead us into our next topic because speaking of the Rumble, we had an opening segment. CM Punk kicks off the show and he's talking about beating Seth Rollins. But of course, things are not over with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins goes out there. They start going at it back and forth. But then Drew McIntyre goes out there and Drew McIntyre starts talking his shit to Seth Rollins, but it also bleeds into CM Punk. So it's basically what you get is a mess. You just get Punk, Seth, Drew, everyone's yelling at each other, everyone's mad at each other. And this leads to Drew McIntyre also saying, well, both Seth and Drew saying that they are also going to be in the Rumble because CM Punk is going to be in the Rumble. Seth wants to ruin CM Punk's main event WrestleMania dream, and Drew's just pissed.
Yeah. Look, I was excited when all three of those guys were out there because my favorite segment, my favorite promo of 2024 was when those three were together. Remember when Drew is sitting on the commentary table and Punk and Rollins are in the ring? Like that back and forth between those three was just absolutely brilliant. I don't think that this quite hit the same magic, but I mean, if anything, it reminded us of just how insanely stacked this men's Royal Rumble match is going to be. A Royal Rumble match that's already got Cena. It's got Roman, a guy that we haven't seen in the Rumble in the 2020s at all. He's been in the championship picture this entire time. And then now we're adding the three biggest names right now on Monday Night Raw. And then there's still some big names on Friday Night SmackDown. Like this Rumble is going to be absolutely nutty and insane. And I can already picture the final four or final five being absolutely crazy because there's so many interwoven storylines between Roman and Drew and every one of these guys that we're talking about here. I like this promo because it just did kind of feel like out of all of the things that happened on Monday Night Raw, this felt like the most unpredictable thing. Like, what's Punk going to say? Like, these guys can go off the handle at any moment and just say like the most ridiculous things and get everybody excited over it. We didn't quite hit those levels. We didn't have CM Punk alluding to Vince McMahon like he did last time those three were in a promo together. But nonetheless, like I really, really like this promo, even if it does leave it a little bit ambiguous as to where things are going to go. Like what's the end goal? Because they're not giving us anything beyond expect these guys at the Royal Rumble. Expect these guys to want to kill each other and eliminate each other at the Royal Rumble. They're really holding close to their through their chest what the cards look like going into WrestleMania because so many people still have a question. Is Punk a favorite? Should he be a favorite to win the Rumble? Some say yes, some say no because a lot of people are convinced that the favor to from Paul Heyman is to get him involved in the main event of WrestleMania. And if that is the favor, then why have him win the Rumble? There's just so many of these things that are still up in the air that make this Rumble so insanely unpredictable. There were so many years where I'm like, obviously he's winning. Duh. Obviously. This is a year where I have no fucking clue, Denise.
That's how I feel too. I mean, I look at this and I go, okay, well, God, I mean, I think I'm still leaning more towards John Cena, and I'm leaning more towards John Cena. Again, I was so sold on that Raw promo that he cut where he had basically said, hey, I'm on a losing streak. I know everybody wants me here to be a 17-time world champion. I can't get there if I don't, kind of work my way back up once again. And I know it's kind of silly hearing that from John Cena, but he's got a point. At the end of the day, you don't want to be handed things. You want to work towards those things. And so John Cena really sold me into thinking that he is winning this Rumble. But then at the same time, I remember when CM Punk started going off about, winning the Rumble at the presser, I started thinking like, shit, he's making some good points too. That would be great. Drew McIntyre is a former Royal Rumble winner. I would love to see Drew McIntyre win again. I think he's somebody that deserves his flowers for the work that he's done. And Seth Rollins, it's so funny because I hate to say this, but Santi, no matter how hard Seth Rollins tries, the crowd refuses to pick him over CM Punk. He always gets drowned out. He could never win the crowd over. And both Punk essentially buried both Drew and Seth because they didn't really have anything. He told Drew, the last time I saw you, you were on your knees crying in the Hell in a Cell. Seth Rollins was coming out here being like, you're a cancer and I'm going to cut you out. And he lost. So it's like CM Punk is being haunted by the ghost of his past, but he's also beating those ghosts. And now they're just coming across as, big haters. And it works for Drew McIntyre. It works for Drew. For Seth, it's a give and take.
Yeah, for Seth, it'll work a little bit more when he obviously inevitably turns heel. It's going to happen. You kind of alluded to one of those reasons. He's losing the crowd battle, right? Like you can lose the matches, that's one thing, but like losing the crowd consistently every single episode, at some point or another, you're going to need to recognize, I might just need to lean into this as opposed to trying to fight this almost impossible fight to win, which is to try and get the crowd to love you instead of the other guy. And if this is going to be a trilogy at some point, if they're going to keep fighting, I need one of them to be heels. I don't care which one, but
It's gotta be Seth.
it's pretty clear to me that the crowd is picking Seth to be the one to be the heel here. I think he just is the better choice, frankly, too.
I felt like they should have done it sooner, Santi. I felt like from the moment that he went out there and was like, CM Punk ghosted me and everyone was booing him, that was it right there. I actually thought he was going to turn like full on heel at the Raw Netflix premiere. I wish they would have really just like gone in and done it there because then that would have sort of I think that was sort of kind of protected him from because him coming out and trying to be a baby face and the crowd saying, no, we don't want you. It's making Seth look bad, in my opinion.
Now, if making him look bad, can you like dive into that a little bit more? Like, how does Denise feel about him right now?
Personally, I
Yeah.
feel like he keeps falling short of expectations in this feud with CM Punk. That no matter what he says, no matter what he does, he always ends up on the losing side. And then, but he's also trying to come across as a baby face, right? He's trying to do that. But when he's coming across and falling short and not fulfilling the things that he's going to say, not fulfilling the things he's going to do, that what he said and not doing them, to me, it makes me go, I don't know, bro, you're all talk and no action. So that's why I'm like, you got to turn this man heel or else it's just going to be like, ooh, Seth, he took another L today. And I like Seth, but when you're coming off of the WrestleMania story where he was in there with Cody and with Roman and The Rock, and you were sort of forgotten about, and then you go into this feud with CM Punk after it kind of felt like you were sort of sidelined when the attention all went to Drew and CM Punk. Suddenly, it's like, all right, it's been too many odds stacked up against Seth Rollins, and he hasn't been overcoming those odds at all, in my opinion. And so, for that reason, I think that it should have been long overdue that they turned Seth heel to kind of protect the character just a little bit and just make it more of just make it easier, I guess. Make it easier for Seth Rollins to gain that attention, to gain a different kind of attention from the crowd instead of going out there and being like, I'm on your guys' side. And the crowd's like, boo, we don't want you on our side. We want this guy. We want CM Punk, the guy that you say is the bad guy. We want that guy.
So I guess my question to you now is, do you not see Seth Rollins as a threat to win the Rumble?
No,
Mhm.
not
Is
even a little bit.
is it because of how much stock he's lost over the last couple of months in your eyes?
Yes. All
Mm.
of that being set, playing second fiddle to the Drew CM Punk feud. Like, remember that I know the injuries and everything got in the way, but still, the Drew Punk feud was a million more times interesting than the Seth Punk feud. And
Mm.
reminder, that's where we started. That's where we were supposed to go. And of course, minus the big moment that they had at the closing of the USA Network. I thought that was fantastic. They killed it there. But after that, I'm just like looking at this and I'm going, no, he's been taking too many L's where he's not looking like the top guy, but he's supposed to be a top guy.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and the crowd isn't treating him as such. They're the crowd, like you mentioned, the reactions are that of the second guy, and to have Seth Rollins kind of have that moniker hovering over him doesn't feel right, but it would feel far more right and far more at home if they were to just pull the trigger and turn him heel.
Yes, exactly. So I say turn Seth heel. Let's roll with it. In fact, I think it was overdue and let's just get to it. But we'll see what happens. WrestleMania is going to be a fun time. All right, let's keep it going. I want to get into this backstage interaction that we had with the Judgment Day. And as we all know, Dominik Mysterio tried to win back Rhea Ripley last week when she won the title, stretching out his arms, wanting to
You
be
don't know
loved
that.
by
You don't know
Rhea.
that. That might have just been a friendly hug. You don't know that.
Are you sure,
You are
Santi?
making major assumptions here with no proof.
Santi,
That is a very
someone
dangerous thing to
comes up to
do.
you with arms wide open, being
Friendly
like,
person. Friendly,
hey,
friendly. That's a friend right there. That's
no,
somebody you trust.
absolutely not. He was
Disgusting
trying to
slander. I
win
won't allow
back
this.
Rhea. And now he's not understanding that Liv is pissed at him and she's out. She's going to ruin his life. And you know what? It's going to be great to watch.
You think that we're gonna get him just like having to look, I feel like I've been on the receiving end of what Dominik Mysterio is about to go through. I feel like every man that's been in a long-term relationship that just has to like kind of like peek over is like, are you mad? Nope, not mad. Oh no, she's mad. And then I've been through this, brother. I've been through this.
But she's got a reason. She's got a reason. Can you blame her? Can you blame Liv?
Lot of assumptions you're making here. I feel like that was an entirely platonic hug congratulating Rhea Ripley. And for you to even make an
Why
assumption that
should
it's
he
anything
even be
else, it's
giving her,
gross.
let's say it is a platonic hug, Santi.
Yeah.
Why should he even be giving her a platonic hug?
She just won the championship. You congratulate your coworkers when they accomplish something. I'm sorry that this man has better morals than you, clearly.
But only a couple minutes prior to her winning, he had thrown in the bout to try to screw Rhea Ripley. So who tries to screw somebody and then after give them a hug when they come out on top?
Look, just a lot of assumptions here, Denise. Honestly, this is I'm honestly wanting to leave right now because we could get hit with a liability suit with the horrible things that you are alleging about Dominik Mysterio at this moment in time. This is all
Dominik
her. This
Mysterio
is all her. This is not
is
me.
going to end up wiping floors for Liv Morgan. He is going to be like, she's going to treat
Yes.
him like, she's going to have him running all her errands. Like, that's what he's going to become, an errand boy for Liv Morgan.
I'm gonna die laughing if we see a backstage segment and he's cleaning the floor with a toothbrush.
She threw his flowers. She threw his flowers. She didn't give a rat's ass about those flowers.
They look nice. They look like they looked expensive.
I mean, after what he did for her and he only bought her one bouquet.
Wow, bougie ass Denise over here. They're
Dominik
expensive.
Mysterio has that
They're
WWE money to buy more than one floral bouquet.
look, all right. Clearly, you're very materialistic when it comes to these things. All right. It's the thought that counts, Denise, not the number of thoughts.
Okay, given the fact that he messed up this past Monday, I feel like he had to do more, overcompensate a little bit to
All
try
right.
to ask for
How do you
forgiveness.
fix this? How do you fix this aside from more flowers?
You don't. He's done. There is no forgiveness. She needs to get rid of him.
Wow.
Thank
All
you,
right.
next.
I'm done. We can move on.
There's no forgiving. I'm just saying, that's it. He's done. No
He'll find a
forgiving.
way. He'll find
No,
a way.
no, nope, nope.
He got
It's
Rhea
like,
Ripley to forgive him. Remember? Remember? He got Rhea
which
Ripley to
what?
forgive him.
But it wasn't, what did he do for her to, he wasn't like he was off with Liv Morgan when she forgave him.
He wasn't off with
He was
Rhea
just
Ripley this
he was
time. Do
just
you see?
he
Do you
was just
see the
having
holes
the
I'm poking in your argument here?
yeah, and then look what happened when she didn't forgive him. She ended up getting screwed afterwards.
Okay, but like, moving on.
See, because you don't got nothing, Santi. I'm right. I win the argument. All right, we got Stephen Marchuli here who says Seth, Drew, Owens, heel stable versus Cody and friends post WrestleMania could be happening. Look, they have a lot of similarities. That would be a power freaking group and an angry freaking group. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but at the same time, I kind of like them all doing their own angry little thing. Is this something you'd want to see, Santi?
It feels like a lot of star power getting shoehorned and cornered into one thing when I'd rather see them doing different things and propping up individual storylines and giving us more as separate as opposed to just being forced to only one thing with all of them together. You know what I mean?
I feel you. All right, Steven, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. All right, let's continue on here. I want to get into Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. Pretty straightforward and a nice hard-hitting little matchup that we had here between both guys, but Sheamus gets the win. You know what? I'm sort of in the position now where I feel like I want to see Ludwig Kaiser kind of start to get some big wins here. That's all I
Yes.
was thinking about. I was
All
happy
right.
for Sheamus, but it didn't get a reaction out of me.
Yeah. I'm glad that we're back together, Denise, that this separation between because of Dominik Mysterio, we can come back together. Ludwig Kaiser should have won that. I really wanted to see Ludwig Kaiser win, mostly because I've seen Sheamus Braun Breaker. I want to see a world where we have Ludwig Kaiser leading a narrative, not just having matches, not just having good matches. I want to see what Ludwig Kaiser can do being the opposite heel to a majorly over guy in Braun Breaker. What can Kaiser do in that situation? What kind of promos can he cut? Can he stand out if given the ball and given the opportunity to have a major feud with Braun Breaker? I guess that'll have to wait, but I'm kind of with you. I love Sheamus, don't get me wrong, but I'm significantly less excited as to what a Sheamus Braun Breaker feud looks like. The cherry at the end of this storyline would be Sheamus getting his Grand Slam and winning the Intercontinental Championship. That's the big thing right there for sure. But in the long term, I would have liked to see the development of Ludwig Kaiser as a singles heel in the mid card, but that's clearly going to have to wait.
Yeah, like you said, unless it's leading to Sheamus getting that, Intercontinental Championship win, then we kind of want to start to see the wins going in the other direction. But moving on to Gunther, he had a confrontation here with Jey Uso that led to Jey Uso and him. They're going to have a match at Saturday night's main event. Santi, look, I was under the impression, and I still am under the impression, that Gunther is making it to WrestleMania as World Heavyweight Champion. However, I don't know. I do think there could be a chance that Jey Uso wins only because Gunther has already defeated him 2 times. Is there a world where Jey Uso actually wins here against Gunther? Mind you, Gunther also kind of buried him a little bit and said, "You're a good tag team wrestler. You're not on my level," sort of deal. I loved it. I loved it. I
Yeah.
love Dick Gunther. He's so great when he's an asshole. I love it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see him lose the title, but Jey Uso's pride is kind of on the line here.
It is. Okay. So I'm going to say something that's a little bit off the beaten path. I said this in my stream and it resonated with people. I don't think that Jey Uso needs this title victory necessarily, but something that I believe is needed is I think that Saturday night's main event needs a moment. Last Saturday night's main event left a lot of people saying this was a show you could miss. Nothing happened here. It was fun wrestling, but this just sort of felt like filler. Saturday night's main event needs its key game-changing needle mover moment. Because if it happens, if in that moment happens to be Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight Championship, then every Saturday night's main event henceforth is must watch. You cannot miss Saturday night's main event because something like this can happen. It still feels crazy. Like it doesn't feel logical yet to have Gunther lose the World Heavyweight Championship, but I'm also willing to see what that looks like. I'm game if they're gonna pull the trigger on Jey Uso. Maybe they test the waters with championship changes of lesser championships like the Intercontinental Championship or something else. But at some point, they're gonna need to do something big for Saturday night's main event. And I don't think it gets bigger than Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight Championship. That would be crazy.
I know, but I also feel so bad for Gunther. I don't want his title reign to end just yet because I had in my mind these big ideas and these big moments coming up in the horizon for Gunther. So for him to sort of just like end it there, it feels like, why? Especially right now, given how much criticism Gunther is getting, or not that he's getting per se, but the booking of Gunther's character that it's getting. Like, it's getting a lot of criticism from people.
Yeah, and I think the biggest one is that like why is this guy that's clearly like so dominant, why can't he win dominantly? Why do they protect the people that he's beating so often? Like what we saw with Damian Priest, what we saw at Saturday night's main event, his wins over Sami Zayn is not being the cleanest either. Yeah, like it's like it to me, it's very clear, and it is an obvious thing to say. Gunther is the B champion. I just hate that they treat him like the B champion. I wish they tried a little bit more to give him that nice Cody Rhodes shine that Cody Rhodes clearly has.
Yeah, that's shine. I get you. I get you. We got a couple of super chats here. This one is from, let me see. We got Soundwave 80s who says, "Have you ever watched the show Alice?" No, I have not. I don't even
I
know
have
what
not.
that is.
Nope.
But I'll Google it, Soundwave 80s. Thank you so much for asking. We got Stephen Marchuli here who says, oh, I already read this one. My apologies. We got Blinking from Kimberly with Kimberly who says, Santi, you look a lot like Jey Uso.
Yeet. I weirdly have gotten that before. I feel like I look like Jey Uso in certain angles.
I don't see it.
Okay, so I got it when I worked in the corporate world. There was a poster of, I think it was like the Royal Rumble 2023. I can't exactly remember, but this coworker of mine sent it to me like, "You look like this guy." I'm like, "Jey Uso?" I don't see it at all. But this isn't the first time I've gotten this.
I'm looking at him right now. I need to see this like side by side. Smile like this. You know what? I don't know. I think you know what it is? It's the facial hair. I think it's the facial hair because that's the only thing I can kind of see you sort of looking, but not really. I just don't see it. Here, let me see. Let me put you
Hmm.
up there. Wait, nope, that's me. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I just did. Where did the picture go? Where are you? All right, this is not working. Whatever. I was trying to get you and Jey Uso. All right, let me see. Smile, Santi. I think it's just the facial hair.
Maybe. I've also gotten ugly Ethan Page. I've gotten Jose Hendry before as well.
I'm sorry. I think Jose
Now, why are you
Hendry might
laughing?
be my favorite.
Which one? Ugly Ethan Page?
Jose Hendry.
Oh, Jose Hendry.
See Ethan Page either.
Well, sometimes when I stream, I wear glasses, and
Yeah,
I
I've
feel like
seen you
when
with
I've
your
got,
glasses.
I think when I have the glasses, they see ugly Ethan Page, which is mean. Is just mean.
Sorry, Santi. No, that's great.
I'll remember
That's
this.
great. No, now I'm gonna look at Jay. I'm gonna be trying to see you and Jey Uso now from moving forward. We got Joe Compton here who says Gunther loses the title at Saturday night's main event, then moves on to feud. Feud ending at Mania with Goldberg. Well, I am expecting that match with Goldberg. I just don't think it's gonna happen at WrestleMania, though. Do you?
God no, please no, 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 no. God no, please no. I want to see it at some point, just not at Mania. Listen, it's gonna be It's gonna be sleeper holds. It's gonna be a couple spears. It's gonna be like 5 minutes. Do you want that for Gunther? Think about that awesome classic he had against Sami Zayn. You want to now go down to a 5-minute match with Gunther? No thanks.
Oh man, I'm curious, and the curiosity gets the best of me. So I'm curious to see what that looks like. Joe, thank you so much for the super chat. We got my co-host Chinadu Ogu from Tuesdays NXT saying just wanted to show some love. Thank you so much as always, Chinadu. Appreciate you so much, man. All right, let's go ahead and get into. Oh, we got another super chat here. This is from Jr. Dugan who says, "Is there a Royal Rumble face-off you are looking forward to heading into WrestleMania 41?" I kind of want a small tease between Roman and CM Punk.
Yeah,
That asking for
I
too
feel
much?
like that's a given. I feel like we're gonna get that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. So Cena Punk, which is a really, really important feud, like to my history as a wrestling fan, I want to see that again. I want to see just the face off one more time.
Let's go. All right, JR Dugan, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for sending that in. All right, so let's go ahead and get into. We got a couple more items to touch on. I'm sure you're excited to talk about the Miz versus Sami Zayn. Did this do anything for you?
Okay, no, but Sami Zayn needs to
Oh,
win matches like that more often.
yes,
That
yes.
was awesome. Haluva kick into the Blue Thunder Bomb. That was great. But the Sami Zayn getting roasted by Seth Rollins, calling him Roman's boy. Aren't you happy that Roman won? That was cool. I like that.
That was good. The other thing I need to ask you, because this just reminded me of this, Wyatt Six is now on SmackDown. Final Testament, Wyatt Six story seems to be kaput.
Denise, go ahead, celebrate.
Woo! I was so stoked. I was like, it's done. It's done. It's done.
For those that don't know, Denise hates this feud,
Yeah,
despises
because
it.
it stinks. And clearly they think so too. Because if not, we would have continued to see it. But they were like, nah, we're just going to move them to another brand and let's not take another look at it ever again. This was their out.
There's a lot of outs that are about to happen, by the way, with this transfer portal. A lot of outs, a lot of new beginnings, but yeah, I feel like this is a necessary out.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just laughing at the chat right now. All right. Let's continue on here with the show. All right, I want to get into Rhea Ripley because we did get a moment here with Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. Nia Jax, who is now a Raw superstar, I believe she said that in the transfer
Was
portal
that
thing.
confirmed?
I don't know. I thought that's what she meant, or was that just a one-time thing?
I don't think she said I'm now on Raw because Bayley was there as well. I think she said that she came there to talk to Adam Pearce about the transfer portal, which by the
Oh,
way, could we get a little bit more clarity? Like who's eligible? When's the deadline? They just sort of keep dangling this like story narrative device in the transfer portal and we know nothing about it. And I feel like this was another one of those situations.
yeah, exactly that. But what I did like about this, though, I thought Nia Jax was
She
hilarious.
cooked.
Right?
I'm so glad we're on the same page. She was awesome in that promo.
I agree. I don't know if she was like not trying to. It came across as effortless, and that's what I liked when she when she asked Bayley like, "What are you doing here?" And Bayley's like, "I live here." And then when she said, "Oh,
BBL
mommy's,"
Bayley.
yeah, yeah. And then when she said, "Mommy's always on top," and she made a face like, like kind of judging Rhea for that. It was so great. I loved this. Bayley being in the crowd. We got a Bayley Rhea Ripley tease there towards the end. Rhea and Nia went at it, headbutt to headbutt. What'd you make of all this?
I weirdly liked it. At first, I was like, what are we doing here with all of this? But then as Nia was talking, I was like sitting here eating popcorn, enjoying every word coming out of her mouth. She was awesome in that promo. The Rhea Ripley stuff beforehand, I was like, oh, this is like pretty like generic. I'm the babyface. I just won. Look at my new title. Haha. Nothing really much of substance there with Rhea Ripley. And I wasn't really expecting too much substance there because I just don't think that Rhea Ripley is going to have a meaty feud until we get to WrestleMania. I feel like Rhea Ripley is going to be in cruise control until WrestleMania. And if anything, I feel like this demonstrated it because yeah, we got the little bit of the hint of the potential Bayley versus Rhea Ripley stuff that could potentially happen down the line. But this was hype the Women's Royal Rumble. This was what this was.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Nia Jax entered herself
Yeah.
into the Rumble. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, you're right. I kind of hope that they do. Like, I get it. I think her being on autopilot might be the way that they go about it. But I hope that they make this reign for Rhea a little bit different, because one of the biggest criticisms that Rhea got from her initial reign was that she wasn't defending the
Right.
title enough and that it was all about Dominik Mysterio. I would love to see her change that narrative and get these matches. And it's so funny because Bayley seems to be like that person that makes almost every champion, like her and Bianca, like the matches that they had made Bianca's championship reign. Now she's going to go up and face Tiffany Stratton. She's going to give her a hell of a first defense. And so I'm like, hell, let's rock it with Bayley and Rhea. I want to see that. I'm here for it. So yeah, I really like this a whole lot too. Let's see how you like this one. We got Roman Reigns here, who says Sancho's train is greater than Santi's train.
Why are you guys bringing these stupid memes here? It's so dumb. We got into this huge. Sancho is my co-host of the Wrestling at School podcast. We got into this thing that I didn't like the New Day stuff with Karrion Kross in the summer, and then he said, "Okay, well then you're not allowed on the New Day train." I was like, "I don't want to be on the New Day train." And then the heel turn happened. I was like, "Can I please get on the New Day train?" And then he like wouldn't let me on the New Day train. Wasn't allowed to cheer or enjoy anything New Day. And anytime the New Day was on screen, my chat would just spam "not allowed, not allowed, not allowed" because of this stupid dumb meme with Sancho and his train.
But he's their heel now, so shouldn't it be like shouldn't the rules start all over now for your train?
I would think so. And listen, it was never that I didn't like the New Day. I just didn't like the Karrion Kross stuff. The New Day got good once they left the Karrion Kross stuff. It's a different train.
Yeah,
It's a
that is
different
true.
train.
Yeah, it's a start. It's a new ticket, a new journey.
Yeah, new train.
You know which train I never want to be on?
Tell me.
The Final Testament train.
What could
I want to be excluded out of it forever.
What could win you over? Is there anything that the Final Testament could do outside of like ending world hunger? And even then you'd be like, I don't know, this is pretty boring.
The way that they ended world hunger, it was just so boring. Like they could have put a little bit, I want a little bit more psychology in the way that you do it, you know? I don't think there's anything. I'm so bored out of my mind with the Final Testament that I just tune out at this point. So yeah, I'm for sure out of their train forever. Never taking that ride. I'm out. I'm out.
All right.
They could have won me over, but they lost it. All right, we got a street fight match. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, the main event of the evening. They really, really went all out to really make this an entertaining street fight. That's what it was. They fought in and out of the ring. Had a big spot off of the little stage platform area in the crowd. Table spots, you name it. That was happening. Kendo sticks, chair shots, trash bin spots, a little bit of everything. There was a moment where Finn Balor hit the coup de grace on Damian Priest on the table and slipped and fell on his back. I was like, oh snap, Finn, I hope you're okay. We got some interferences as well from Carlito and JD McDonough. JD McDonough took a bunch of sick bumps. At one point, he got tossed into the LED screens. I thought that was kind of sick. The War Raiders came out to have Damian Priest's back, so they took out Carlito and JD McDonough, finally leaving them alone in the ring to finish this off. And Priest hits the Razor's Edge through the table, gets the win, finishes him off with the South of Heaven, and gets the win.
I love this. Aside from the outcome, it's this. Like, what's wrong with Finn Balor? Why do they hate him so much? There's a reason why he's become Pin Balor, why so many people have given him that nickname, but it's just so bizarre. Like, look, I get it. This Damian Priest is your big guy, but like, and I'm fine with Damian Priest winning this, but if you're going to have Damian Priest win this in the way that he did, why couldn't Finn have won one of the matches leading into this?
Because they shouldn't even be having these matches anymore. Damian Priest should be doing something totally different.
What?
And he's a totally different level right now than Finn and everybody else in the Judgment Day.
I've said this before on a previous episode. Finn's stock is like the lowest that it's ever been. Somehow it found a way to get lower. The match is great. That's the thing. I really, really enjoyed the match, but the end result, I'm walking away out of this, right? Being like, cool. Like, the match was great, but what did this do for either of you?
Nothing. Is this feud still going to continue?
I wouldn't be surprised if we get Finn Balor once again being like, "Yeah, just wait. I'm gonna take out Damian Priest for like the 18th time just to get destroyed." I'm I hope this is done. I'm assuming it's done, but I'm also weary that it's not.
That's what I'm fearing too, because I think that the end result should basically be like the Judgment Day turning on Finn Balor, right? Because, he's been kind of being a jerk behind the scenes. He's like, if you listen to Finn, you will win. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes anybody like that. So I feel like that's like shouldn't Damian Priest have a little bit of like a win in breaking them up, given the fact that they turned on him and Rhea? But
I
it just
guess so, but
I
like,
don't
what does
know.
that do for Damian? Like, what does that do?
I'm reaching. I really don't know. I was just trying to find some sort of a story or some sort of an answer here, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like we do need to tell the story of the end of the Judgment Day. And, you kind of already talked about this, with the Wyatt Six and the transfer portal just being an out. Maybe this is our out. Let's just send Damian to SmackDown. Let's just start something new. Next week, he's feuding with Carmelo Hayes. And okay, fine, something new. Because Damian Priest needs a change of scenery, whether it's a new show, a new feud, whatever it might be. His little quasi little group with the War Raiders, that does nothing for me, does nothing for anybody. I don't feel like anybody's particularly excited to see that group develop into anything more than just a couple of run-in interferences. But Damian Priest, more than almost anybody on the roster, needs a change of scenery, a complete reset, because even though he's this main event guy, he's a main event guy I see nothing for over the next couple of months, because I've been so pigeonholed and tunnel vision to just thinking about him and the Judgment Day and Finn Balor that he just needs something different, something new.
You're like, I can't even imagine him doing anything different anymore. That's
I
it. That's
genuinely
all we
can't.
got for Damian Priest, which is very unfortunate because, he's a cool dude. He's popular. So I hope that he breaks out of the Judgment Day vortex and gets out of there. We got Soundwave 80s here who says, have you ever watched the show Three's Company? Of course. Love that show. I didn't watch all the episodes, but I definitely watched a lot of them. Santi, I'm assuming you did too. Couple
No,
of
I'm
episodes. Not one?
not one. I don't even know what the show is.
What?
Yeah.
It was the show where it was what do you call it? Jason Ritter, which unfortunately he passed away. This is a show from a very, very long time again. John Ritter, excuse me. And it was Suzanne Summers. There you go. Suzanne Summers, Joyce DeWitt, and Don Knotts. Anyways, they had this very funny show where a guy had two females as a roommate, and as roommates, it was a guy and two girls, and it was very fun, like a very cute show. And they had a very cute little intro. It's like Three's Companies too. I forgot the words, haven't seen it in a very long time, but it was a cute show. I like it. It's a pretty iconic show. Soundwave 80s, thank you so much for reminding me. I might have to go back and watch a couple of these shows, of these episodes. All right, we got Sal Anthony here who says, with how stacked the main event scene is, can you see OG Bloodline versus what seems like the anti-Avengers, Owens, Rollins, McIntyre for Mania? Oh man, I guess I sort of imagined like they could do this. I know what you said earlier about, keeping everybody in one program sort of pigeonholes them from like doing other things and working with other people. However, right now, I don't know what that Seth Rollins singles match would be at WrestleMania. I don't know what that Drew McIntyre singles match would be. And I don't know what that Kevin Owens singles match would be. So I wouldn't be opposed to them doing something like this. To get Solo on the card, to get Jacob Fatu on the card, and Tama Tonga and those people.
I'm still good with not doing that. I'd rather see all of these guys in their own separate stories. I would be interested in seeing them kind of crisscross and interweave with one another. And now all of a sudden we have all of these different feuds and matches that can maybe coalesce into a big moment. But still would rather have all of them have their own individual branching narrative paths.
Thank you so much, Sal. We got Joe Compton here who says send Damian to SmackDown. Damian versus Cody, Damian versus Roman, Damian versus LA Knight, etc. Like you said, a fresh new scenery, some new opponents. I would so be down for all of that. Joe, thank you so much for the suggestion. We got Terrence Johnson who says Denise Ridge versus Carrion. Who do you got? Oh, brother, you're killing me here.
Do you not like the
Me.
fridge?
I
You
don't like
also
Rich Holland either on the show. Oh my God. I think I'm going to have to pick Karrion Kross.
Wow, you don't like the NXT Ridge? I like the NXT Ridge.
No, I don't. I don't. It is just so vanilla, and that's insulting to vanilla. I'm gonna be honest. I've had more fun with vanilla than I have with Rich Holland. I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm gonna pick Karrion Kross. Terrence, thank you. That was a good one. All righty, guys. I think we got it all for today. My friends, that was WWE Raw with Santi and I. Thank you so much to everybody who's tuning in on my end, on Santi's end. Thank you so much for those who watch live, those who watch the replay, or listen to the audio. We truly, truly appreciate you. Santi, please let the people know where they can check out all of your work, constantly putting out daily content. Tell people where they can find it.
All things Santi's app, whether it's YouTube, well, maybe not TikTok much longer, but Instagram, X, Twitch, wherever it is that you want to consume content, I'm very likely there. Just look up Santi's app.
Awesome. Same for me, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. There's lots happening here on the channel. So make sure you guys come show some love. And thank you guys so much as always. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.